Despite his recent success in WWE, Cody Rhodes has been accused of playing politics and sucking up to AEW President Tony Khan during his time in All Elite Wrestling. We've got the latest on that. Plus, Seth Rollins had some strong words for former AEW World Champion CM Punk this weekend, and one WWE Hall of Famer feels that Rollins was shooting when he was saying those comments. We've got an update on Kota Ibushi's post-New Japan Pro Wrestling career, with his first post-New Japan appearance being officially announced today. Tony Khan has opened up on how creative has changed after the Full Gear pay-per-view in November, and we have the ratings for this past Friday's edition of AEW Rampage. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. And let's start off talking about Cody Rhodes. Now, of course, Cody Rhodes, Royal Rumble winner for WWE. He's going to be main eventing WrestleMania 39, taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. But also, he is also just as well known for his time in AEW, being one of the AEW founding members, a former AEW Executive Vice President. And former AEW name Dan Lambert has now claimed that Cody Rhodes was playing politics with Tony Khan whilst he was with AEW. As I mentioned, Rhodes is one of the stars who helped launch AEW. The American Nightmare, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson all served as executive vice presidents for the company under AEW President Tony Khan. Cody served as an EVP, and his wife, Brandy Rhodes, acted as the chief brand officer up until their AEW departures in February 2022. Speaking on Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda, Dan Lambert stated that he didn't like Cody or Brandy whilst he was with AEW. Quote, "He played the politics game better than anybody in the history and sucked up to Tony Khan, man, and got his way all the time. What the hell is a chief brand officer? What does that even mean other than to feed your ego?" Lambert did praise Rhodes' passion for the business, calling him a student of the game and revealing that he'd always see Rhodes watching old school wrestling, taking notes whenever he'd pass the locker room. Of course, Rhodes returned to WWE in April 2022, making his comeback at WrestleMania 38 as Seth freaking Rollins' mystery opponent. On January 28, the American Nightmare won the 2023 Royal Rumble match, last eliminating Gunther to punch his ticket to WrestleMania 39. Of course, as I mentioned last night, it was announced he would be facing Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship in the main event of the Showcase of the Immortals. However, which night of WrestleMania the match will be taking place, we still don't know. As far as Rhodes being a politician or being a suck-up, I can neither confirm or deny. It just, even when I was looking for the pictures creating this graphic, to see Cody Rhodes on AEW programming already, it just feels bizarre, especially with the success that he's having right now in WWE. It just, pro wrestling, like the world, changes very, very quickly, doesn't it? Now, speaking of WWE, there were comments coming out of the Royal Rumble this weekend that had a lot of people talking about former AEW World Champion CM Punk. Now, the WWE Royal Rumble weekend was met with several memorable moments from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, but one of the most talked about moments came outside of the wrestling ring. Before the event, Seth Rollins was interviewed by Wrestling Inc. senior news editor Nick Hausman about a potential CM Punk return to WWE, leading to the former WWE champion calling Phil Brooks a cancer and saying the former AEW superstar should get away from him forever. The comments amused WWE Hall of Famer Booker T on the latest episode of his Hall of Fame podcast. The surprise entrant in the 2023 Men's Rumble called the moment pretty funny, but stated that Rollins was speaking his truth about Punk. Quote, "He was shooting 100%. Booker said. I'm just glad I didn't have to say it. I'm just glad people can't look at me now and be like I'm a hater. I keep my mouth shut. My mama always told me, if you don't have something good to say about somebody, then don't say nothing at all. You hear other guys that have been around the business that feel and speak the same way about Phil Brooks, and it's because of being around him." Now, Punk's status is currently unknown, as many within AEW don't want to see the best in the world return at any point to the company, with people like Chris Jericho, locker room leaders, going as far to call Punk, like Rollins, a cancer and a detriment to the AEW locker room. But despite the reaction across the wrestling world, Punk has yet to comment on his situation. Quote, "People stop thinking everything is a work," Booker said. "If I say something negative to the point about somebody being a cancer in the locker room, I'm not playing, okay? That's not stuff you play around with. That's not an angle, that's just not. I know a lot of people out there that's not in the business that wants to think that, but sometimes it's real. It's real talk." Now, Booker T, I think just being Booker T, to comment on the matter. Nevertheless, what do you think about Rollins' comments? Do you believe they were a work? Do you believe they were a shoot? Was he joking? Was he being sarcastic? What are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, one of the big stories this year will be Kota Ibushi's future leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, Kota Ibushi's first post-New Japan appearance has been officially announced following his contract expiry this month. With no clear sign that Ibushi would sign a new contract with New Japan following the vocalization of issues with the company, Ibushi looks set to make a name for himself in Game Changer Wrestling. GCW Wrestling broke the news on their official Twitter account stating, quote, Kota Ibushi returns to the ring and makes his GCW debut at Collective 2023 in Los Angeles. March 30, 4 p.m. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. March 31, 8 p.m. Joey Janela's Spring Break. Both events will stream live on Fight TV+. Ibushi had recently spoken about his plans for the future, saying he wanted to have his own company, but he also received really big offers from AEW and all over the world. Now, an eventual move to AEW could potentially reunite him with his former Golden Lovers partner Kenny Omega, who is the current IWGP United States champion. Kota Ibushi has held multiple championships in New Japan Pro Wrestling, including being a three-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight champion. He hasn't wrestled since suffering a separated shoulder during the finals of the 2021 G1 Climax tournament. Now, in addition to his post-New Japan Pro Wrestling plans, with the news that Ibushi is set to debut for GCW in March, it's clear that his time in New Japan is at an end. Ibushi had two successful runs in New Japan, the first running from 2009 to February 2016, and his second running from October 2016 to the end of his contract in January of this year. A source close to Ibushi has now revealed further details of his plans. Dark Perosu Flausen initially tweeted, quote, I've known about this for weeks and I'm so excited it's finally completely out there. Let's effing go. Kota Ibushi is a free agent and ready to roll. The relationship between Ibushi and New Japan had soured, with Ibushi vocalizing his issues with New Japan management. Flausen would follow up their tweet with further details of Ibushi's plan, saying, quote, what I have gathered talking with Kota Ibushi multiple times is that there is high interest from all major promotions. His preference is to work for every promotion he can, more as a freelancer than a fully contracted wrestler. Expect a more brutal and grounded style from him. Ibushi, as mentioned, had spoken about his plans to open his own country and work pretty much as a freelancer, as the tweet said. Now, in between New Japan runs, he would perform on the independent circuit and feature in the WWE Cruiserweight Classic Tournament of 2016, also appearing on a small number of episodes of NXT during that year too. When it comes to more details on his future, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has also provided an update on Kota Ibushi. Now, Kota Ibushi became a free agent at midnight Tokyo time and is now free to work anywhere he wants. Those that Fightful have spoken to say that there's major interest from a number of companies, with that varying from wanting him to sign full-time deals or even getting one-off appearances. Some contacts in each major company are of the belief that Ibushi would want to remain a freelancer, as previously stated. Sources close to him say that he was very happy doing that before signing with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and New Japan was a live and learn situation. Ibushi has not confirmed that himself. The New Japan situation devolved, not just because of him being asked to wrestle with an injured shoulder. Fightful are told that there was a significant private matter that Ibushi was dealing with that Fightful won't pry into, but that New Japan also wanted him to work through that, and that didn't seem to help the relationship. Ibushi is confirmed for several GCW shows during WrestleMania week, which have been in the works since earlier this month. Fightful have been told the plan is for him to work a big main event at Spring Break with Joey Janela. Now, they did reach out to Ibushi directly, but they haven't heard back as of right now. But certainly Ibushi looks to be doing the rounds this year, and it looks like he's going to be appearing for several big promotions. WWE, would they want a one-off? Probably not. AEW, would they be happy with a one-off? Absolutely. So I could certainly see him in AEW, Impact, and possibly some other companies as well. Now, some have said that AEW is on a roll creatively since Full Gear, kind of turning the corner after a difficult summer and fall. And according to AEW owner Tony Khan, the company has been firing on all cylinders since their Full Gear pay-per-view last November. And there are two big reasons for why that has been the case. Speaking to Mark Maron on the WTF podcast, Khan stated the company has largely regained a stable roster after months of injuries and reported suspensions, though Khan did not directly mention the post-All Out brawl, left them scrambling to reorganize storylines at the top top of the card. The second important factor Khan cites is a change in his organization method that has provided a different perspective on building out stories. Quote, I already had a schedule of what I planned week to week in different stories for different wrestlers, different matches or segments, Khan said. At some point, I just kind of inverted it. I realized I should tip this over. Instead of looking at the dates and building it out, I kind of flipped what the columns were and what the rows were. Now I organize everything like this since Full Gear. Khan elaborated that his chart features all the same information as before, but it's simply laid out in a different way that prioritizes looking at things storyline by storyline rather than show by show. By changing the way they look at ongoing and upcoming storylines, the company's coaches have been able to work with the wrestlers in individual matches to help build towards the big match down the line. From Khan's perspective, this has led to a new level of clarity and focus when it comes to the company's booking in recent months. Whether or not you agree with him, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Finally, we have the ratings for last Friday's edition of Rampage on TNT, and as one would expect, while SmackDown got major numbers before the Royal Rumble, Rampage continued its downward slide when it came to the ratings. AEW Rampage did not really have any residual buzz or any kind of overlap with the Royal Rumble anticipation. Friday night's episode only roped in 458,000 average viewers, the lowest the show has been since December 9. From a key demographic standpoint, Rampage was watched by an average audience of 187,000, age 18 to 49, totaling for a 0.14 18 to 49 rating. Now, looking back a year from last year's episode of Rampage during this time period, Rampage continues to decline from 1 year ago. Total viewership is down 24%, and the key demographic is down by a whopping 44%. As I mentioned previously, one of the biggest selling points for AEW Rampage was that it had this younger audience. Yes, the total viewership was low, but at the same time, despite the viewership being low, the key demographic was fairly strong in comparison to the amount of audience that was watching. It had one of the youngest audiences for pro wrestling on television. That's not the case now. Look at it. It's down by nearly 50%. Those young viewers that were watching it a year ago have decided that Rampage isn't cool, or they want to watch something else. Maybe that's WWE, maybe that's just something else. Either way, it feels like the damage certainly has been done to AEW Rampage. But there you go, guys. That's latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts on today's AEW news stories in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.